Hello fellow book lovers and welcome to my channel. My name is Lizzie and I'm here to talk about books. So the other day I got a pretty big book haul in and I want to share that with all of you. So I got 13 books and I'm just going to go through them and read a little bit from each one from the back. Yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so the first book that I got was Circe by Madeline Miller. I have already started this book because I couldn't wait. I was looking forward to getting this for a really long time, so yeah, sorry guys, but I'm still going to read you a little bit from the back. So, don't mind my pug Rim, she is chilling back here. Okay, so the back says, in the house of Helios, god of the sun and mightiest of the Titans, a daughter is born, but Circe is a strange child, not powerful like her father, nor viciously alluring like her mother. Turning to the world of mortals for companionship, she discovers that she does possess power, the power of witchcraft, which can transform rivals into monsters and menace the gods themselves. So I am about halfway through, and so far it is so good. So I'm excited to talk about this in a video soon whenever I finish reading it. The second book that I got is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This book has been going around a lot on BookTube and Bookstagram and all of that, so I really hope it lives up to the hype. But here's what the back says. Linus Baker is a by-the-book caseworker in the department in charge of magical youth. At 40, he lives in a tiny house with a devious cat and his old records for company, but his quiet life is about to change. Linus is summoned by extremely upper management and given a curious and highly classified assignment: travel to an orphanage on a distant island and determine whether 6 dangerous magical children are so dangerous, in fact, that they're likely to bring about the end of days. So this sounds super interesting already. Yeah, I can't wait to read it. The third book that I got is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. So this book fits right into my theme I have going recently of Greek mythology retellings. This cover is just beautiful. Look at this cover. It's so cute. It's like little purple flowers on it, and the it's like matte filling. I don't know, it's really interesting. So here's what the back says. Persephone is the goddess of spring by title only. The truth is, since she was a little girl, flowers have shriveled at her touch. After moving to New Athens, she hopes to lead an unassuming life disguised as a mortal journalist. Hades, god of the dead, has built a gambling empire in the mortal world, and his favorite bets are rumored to be impossible. So, from my understanding, this is a love story between Hades and Persephone. I am kind of interested to know whether it actually kind of follows legit Greek mythology, or it kind of seems like it's more of a reimagining than a retelling. So I don't know. I'm expecting everything to be like Madeline Miller's books, and I don't think I'm getting that vibe from this, but it still sounds super interesting. The fourth book that I got is Beach Read by Emily Henry. So I absolutely loved People We Meet on Vacation by her, so I had to get this one too. A lot of this book haul is books from authors that I've recently read that I loved, and I had to get more books from them. So the back of this says, Augustus Everett is an acclaimed author of literary fiction. January Andrews writes best-selling romance. When she pens a happily ever after, he kills off his entire cast. They're polar opposites. Well, you know, opposites attract, so I think this sounds really interesting and I can't wait to read it. The fifth book that I got is How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. So I absolutely love The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, so I'm now determined to buy every adult book by him. I say adult book because I believe that he does write some children books. I could be wrong about that, But either way, so this is my first step towards that. The cover is so shiny. It's so pretty though. It kind of reminds me of Christmas in a way, so I don't know if this is a good summer read, but oh well, we're going for it. Okay, so the back says Tom Hazard has just moved back to London to settle down and become a history teacher, but while he may look like an ordinary 41-year-old owing to a rare condition, he's been alive for centuries. He has lived history firsthand, performing with Shakespeare, exploring the high seas with Captain Cook, and sharing cocktails with Fitzgerald. Now he just wants a normal life. I hope there is a lot of, like, maybe history mentioned in it. Maybe this will be more, like, what I wanted out of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, but I didn't get, so let's see. So the 6th book that I got is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. This book has been recommended to me by not only my best friend, but also by my sister-in-law, and I feel like if 2 people have recommended it to me, then I definitely have to read it, especially because there aren't a lot of people around me that read books as often as I do, so I feel like that's really saying something. So let's read what the back says. The back says, "For years, rumors of the Marsh Girl have haunted Barkley Cove, a quiet town on the North Carolina coast. So in late 1969, when handsome Chase Andrews is found dead, the locals immediately suspect Kaya Clark, the so-called Marsh Girl. But Kaya is not what they say. Sensitive and intelligent, she has survived for years alone in the marsh that she calls home, finding friends in the gulls and lessons in the sand." So yeah, I can't wait to read this. Okay, so ironically enough, the 7th book that I bought is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This is by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This keeps getting recommended to me on Goodreads, and I thought it was a romance, so I kind of got thrown off by it. I have recently started to read romances, but didn't used to be into them too much, but I found out this is not a romance. So yes, let's read the back. Reclusive Hollywood icon Evelyn Hugo is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life. But when she chooses unknown magazine reporter Monique Grant to write her story, no one is more astounded than Monique herself. Hey, determined to use this opportunity to jumpstart her career, Monique listens in fascination, from making her way to Los Angeles in the 1950s to leaving show business in the 80s, and of course the 7 husbands along the way. Evelyn unspools a tale of ruthless ambition, unexpected friendship, and a great forbidden love. So yeah, that's The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. The 8th book that I bought is The Age of Witches by Louisa Morgan. I love books that have to do with witchcraft, as long as they are not too, like, I don't know what the word is. What am I trying to say? As long as they're not too whimsical, maybe, like witches flying on brooms, or maybe whimsical isn't what I'm thinking, but unrealistic? I don't know. I think this book is set towards the Salem witch trials, maybe, or it has something to do with that time period, so let's see what the back says. In 1692, Bridget Bishop was hanged as a witch, so yeah, that is the Salem witch trials era. 200 years later, oh, okay, her legacy lives on in the scions of 2 very different lines. One dedicated to using their powers to heal and help women in need, the other determined to grasp power for themselves by any means necessary. Alright, so maybe it is like a future and past. I wonder if there will be like different perspectives, like her old relative's story and then her story. So yeah, that'll be really interesting to find out. The 9th book that I got is The 4 Winds by Kristen Hanna. I've seen this one going around a lot too, and people talking about it a lot, so I really do hope I like it. It is kind of a thick book, so hopefully I don't put it off for too long. Sometimes if books are over maybe 400 pages, I'll just be like, that's going to take me more than a few days or something, and I don't want to read it. I want to read other books first. But I've heard that this book is really sad at the end, and I don't know if I'm prepared to cry. I cried so much last month at books, so we'll see. So here's what the inside says. Texas, 1921, a time of abundance. The Great War is over, the bounty of the land is plentiful, and America is on the brink of a new and optimistic era. But for Elsa Wolcott, deemed too old to marry in a time where marriage was a woman's only option, the future seems bleak. Until the night she meets Rafe Martinelli and decides to change the direction of her life. With her reputation in ruins, there is only one respectable choice: marriage to a man she barely knows. So that's really interesting. My great Aunt Vi was born in the 1920s, and she kind of had a similar option. If she did want to get married, it could possibly make it so she couldn't have a career. And so she never got married, and she ended up with 2 doctorate degrees. So I wonder what direction this will go in, and it seems like she does end up having to get married, so I wonder how that'll work out. So the 10th book that I got is The Warmth of Other Suns by Isabel Wilkerson. I read Cass by Isabel Wilkerson, and it was really, really good, and I am trying to read at least one nonfiction a month. I love reading nonfiction, but they can be like very dense or very hard to get through, and they take me a little bit longer. So this will be on my list of nonfictions. I'm reading one right now, and I have one other one. So we'll see. It's a very big book. It's a very big book. I know like the ending part of it is a lot of references and things like that, but it's still a very big book. So the back says, in this epic, beautifully written masterwork, Isabel Wilkerson chronicles one of the great untold stories of American history, the decades-long migration of black citizens who fled the South for northern and western cities in search of a better life. From 1915 to 1970, this exodus of almost 6 million people changed the face of America. She interviewed more than 1,000 individuals and gained access to new data and official records to write this definitive and vividly dramatic account of how these American journeys unfolded, altering our cities, our country, and ourselves. I just recently read a historical fiction called Liberty. That part of it does talk about that migration. So, although it wasn't so much the migration, but it was more people escaping from the South and coming up north. And it was based on a time period earlier than this. So, I don't know. Just in my head, I feel like they play together somehow, but they probably don't. So one day I will get around to this, and then I will probably do a long video talking about it. So yeah. So my next 3 books are my book of the month picks for this month, and so let's see. My first book of the month pick for this month was The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. I believe this is a mystery, so let me read the inside of the book to you. Before Owen Michaels disappears, he manages to smuggle a note to his beloved wife of 1 year. Protect her. Despite her confusion and fear, Hannah Hall knows exactly to whom the note refers. Owen's 16-year-old daughter, Bailey. Bailey, who lost her mother tragically as a child. Bailey, who wants absolutely nothing to do with her new stepmother. Ooh, that sounds like some drama. So, yep, that was my first book of the month pick. My second one, okay, so my second book of the month pick, I'm so excited for this because, like I've said before, I've been kind of going on a Greek mythology theme where I just want all of the Greek mythology retellings and things like that. So this one was Ariadne. by Jennifer Saint. And I'm so excited. So I know, like, I started on Circe, and Ariadne is actually mentioned in that book, so it'll be neat to read her story in this book. And look at the back. So cute. The front's really cute too. I just recently saw on, I think it was on Instagram, I saw somebody was selling stickers of like the cover, like the face, and I really wanted to buy one, but I don't know. Maybe I'll see it again and I'll buy one. It's really cool. But anyway, so I'll read the inside. Ariadne, princess of Crete, grows up greeting the dawn from her beautiful dancing floor and listening to her nursemaid's stories of gods and heroes. But beneath her golden palace echo the ever-present hoofbeats of her brother, the Minotaur, a monster who demands blood sacrifice. Ooh, okay, so yeah, definitely in the Circe book that I'm reading now, it mentions the Minotaur and it talks about that a little bit. And I know it does talk about how Ariadne, like, kind of feels bad for him, and even though he's a monster, like, always says my brother. So I hope this kind of goes deeper into, like, her relationship with the Minotaur and things that she does, and yeah, so I'm so excited. When I saw this, I was like, absolutely have to get that one. Okay, and my last book of this book haul, and my third book from my book of the month pick, is Imposter Syndrome by Kathy Wing. I almost wasn't sure about this because the way that book of the month described it seemed weird. And then I had to read the actual synopsis, and then I was like, ooh, that sounds really intriguing. So let me read the inside for you. In 2006, Julia Lerner, a recent university graduate in computer science, is living in Moscow when she's recruited by Russia's largest intelligence agency. By 2018, she's in Silicon Valley as COO of Tangerine, one of America's most famous technology companies. In between her executive management, self-promotion, and work in gender equality, she funnels intelligence back to the motherland, but now Russia's asking for more and Julia's getting nervous. Ooh, I don't think I've ever really read a book quite like this, and I'm not really sure which category to put it in, but it sounds really neat, and I'm trying not to say interesting because I feel like I've described every book as interesting. Obviously I'm interested in every single book because I bought them. So, yep, that's the end of my book haul. So, all of the ones that I bought, not the book of the month picks, but the ones that I actually bought were all on my Goodreads want to read list. And so, I'm excited I finally get to check like 10 books. I'm excited I get to check 10 books off of that list because it's ever growing. I basically went through the bookstore website, and anything that was on sale from that list I went ahead and bought, and I think I ended up spending around $10 per book, which isn't bad at all. I did get a lot of paperbacks because they were cheaper, and I also learned that if I buy books online instead of going to the store, I spend way less money because I can pay attention to what's on sale and what's not, and instead of just automatically seeing the hardback version of it, I will look at the paperback and be like, ooh, I could save $10 this way. So yes. Also, throughout this video, my pug Rim has been laying here. There she is. Oops. Knocked all my books over. She's been laying here snoring, so I'm very sorry about that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of these books, or if you've read any of them, or if they're on your want to read list. Also, please subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much.